Hi, everybody. This is Tamara Childs. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about Saturn retrograde. Just as we're celebrating Mercury going direct, which is wonderful, we are also experiencing another area of our chart and our energy system that is pausing, reassessing, and rebuilding, and that is the Saturn retrograde. Um, this goes on until October, and this is a chance if you know where you have, I believe it's 25 degrees of Aquarius. We're going to be retrograding backward, and Saturn is the place where we are mastering something. It's the place in our lives where we are going back and forth over and over again to perfect something. So what are you perfecting in your Aquarius slice of the pie? This is the part of your chart that has Aquarius, 25 degrees back to 18. This is going to be a place where you've been working for a while. You've been making forward progress in a building of something that you've been building piece by piece. And the way Saturn teaches us to build is if we try to skip a step, it's like we're building something, like we're building a step and there's a stone that's out of place. We'll trip over that stone until we realize, oh, I put the stone in the wrong place. That's not a strong foundation. So we've got to put everything in order. And we have to take step by step, slow, daily progress, because Saturn is repetitive. It's something we're repeating and we're learning about because we're repeating. And as you repeat, it reminds me of Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours, that the things that we become masters at, we've spent a lot of time with. And when you spend a lot of time with something, you're doing it over and over again. And that's how we perfect something. That's how something really crystallizes. So if you can see this process in a positive way, and especially if you're ruled by Saturn, if you have some Aquarius in your chart, or your chart is ruled by Saturn, if you have Aquarius ascendant or Capricorn ascendant, you will be used to this energy. You'll be used to kind of what our grandparents would call elbow grease, which is hard work. It's just having to clean things up. I put a post on Facebook about how during the rains, my basement flooded and it was late at night, too late to call anybody. And I was down there in my PJs and I realized, what do I have that I can sop up this water with? Like I didn't even have the right equipment, but I had to get started and it was like, I kind of took a deep sigh. I was like, I guess I'm going to spend a couple of hours here because there's like no emergency reset that I can do. So I had to, like, it was very old fashioned. I had my bucket, my mop, and I had some rags and I was soaking the rags and squeezing them out. And it took some time and buckets of water were coming out and I was taking them out to throw on the ground. And, it was a mess. So but I calmed myself down because I realized, well, this is no different than, my ancestors, in the past, nobody had a shop vac to clean a mess up. And there are a lot of things that we do have right now that people in the past didn't have. So they had to do hard, repetitive work, whatever that was, even if that was something like creating records of religious texts, and having to, use the quill pen with the ink and having to carefully by hand record things. That is very Saturnian. History is full of Saturn energy. And so right now, because we're so focused on having things happen quickly, we want it to be easy, and we're a very convenience-oriented world. Sometimes, Saturn influence, we frown on it. We don't like it because we don't want to do all that. But if you can just picture that during the next 6 months, you're going to be reworking an area that you've been already working on. You will see progress in the next 6 months because you will be perfecting something that maybe you were just starting to learn about. Saturn makes us feel a little stupid at first because we're often trying to apply our energies to something that we're not used to, or we're not used to doing it well. We haven't mastered it. It's like going into a new grade in school. Um, so one of the ways that I like to make friends with Saturn and make Saturn happy and me at the same time is to create structure out of my growth. How do we do this? One way to do it is just to create a list. You can write out lists, and I think it's a great idea to write out what you've already accomplished, what are you're in the process of accomplishing, and what you want to accomplish. And you can mix this all up. But even if you just did a daily writing of, hey, I'm really proud at how this has gone the last 3 months. I've really seen this crystallize. Things are, improving. I'm getting strength in this area. And then this is what I'm working on right now. Yeah, it's not that easy, but I'm creating the legacy that I want out of this. So, I'm going to keep applying myself to this, and I'm seeing incremental improvement. That's what Saturn is, incremental improvement. And then if you look into the future, you're building something that's like the foundation of a house or the house itself. It's a structure. So look at that structure, and one of the things that's going to come up for you is how much time you have. Saturn tells us that we are temporary and that we exist in a finite lifetime where, and of course there's a part of us, the spiritual part, that is unlimited. But Saturn's saying, yes, but you only have so much time and space in a body. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with your time? So one thing you may notice right away is sort of a culling of unnecessary activities, wasteful, time-wasting activities, whatever those may be. And you're going to want to put your time and energy toward your building projects. Now, you could be building a relationship, you could be building emotional resilience, you could be building a positive attitude or mindset, you could be building skills in any area of your life. Or you could be doing physical building, or you could be doing just, I'm going to work on time, I'm going to get to work on time every day, or I'm going to map out a plan for my future. All of those things are very constructive and very helpful during Saturn periods, which is all the time really. But whenever there's a retrograde, it's like a magnifying glass. So we'll suddenly feel like, and especially since Saturn governs time, I don't have enough time. I'm so strapped for time. I feel so busy. I don't have enough energy, because Saturn tends to make us feel like the shoe is too tight, like feel like something's like we it's like pushing and funneling our attention into a narrow focus for our betterment in the end. And everything ebbs and flows, of course, so we have the chance at a later time where Saturn says, you did very well, you get an A on that test, you have accomplished that crystallization of something. You built that well, so let's move on to something else. Because as you remember, when we went through school, you would get really good at 8th grade, and then there was 9th grade, and then you felt like you didn't know anything again. And Saturn, that's how Saturn makes us feel. It's like we don't know anything. But the way to harness this is just to lean in a little and let yourself do the work that's right in front of you to do. And that will help you to feel a sense of success, of accomplishment, of satisfaction. And those are the things that really help us feel that we are living optimally. And Saturn helps us to optimize everything in our lives. So I hope that's helpful for you. Enjoy manifesting. Enjoy learning, creating, growing, and crystallizing your own success. I'll talk with you soon.